Jonathan had always loved the city for its vibrancy, but tonight, the city had transformed into a murky labyrinth of fear. The streets, usually buzzing with life, were cloaked in a thick, unnatural fog that clung to everything it touched. The further he walked, the quieter it became, until only the echo of his footsteps remained, bouncing off the grimy alley walls. As he turned a corner, he saw a figure standing under the flickering glow of a streetlight. The figure wore tattered clothes, their colors faded and muted. But it was the face that twisted Jonathan's stomach into knots, grotesque, with features slanted in ways that defied nature, and a smile that promised nothing but malice. The clown seemed almost to melt into the shadows, its eyes following Jonathan with a predatory gleam. Jonathan's breath caught in his throat, and instinctively he took a step back. In that moment, the city appeared to hold its breath, waiting for the clown's next move. People began to vanish, leaving behind only whispers and empty homes. Spectral, dark incidents surged through the fog like bloody currents. Among the abandoned cars and closed stores, shadows moved in the periphery of one's vision, fleeting and sinister. Each night, Jonathan would hear faint, tortured cries carried by the wind, always just out of reach, always swallowed by the oppressive darkness. His friends, neighbors, colleagues, one by one, they ceased to exist. Posters of missing persons plastered the walls, their cheerful faces blurred and torn by the same malevolent fog. The police seemed helpless, their efforts stymied by the inexplicable frenzy that gripped the streets. And there, in the thick of it, Jonathan felt the creeping dread that he, too, was being watched. It was on a particularly dense night, the fog so thick he could barely see his hand in front of his face, when he heard the unmistakable, bone-chilling sound of laughter. It was the laugh of a soul twisted beyond recognition, an unholy rasp that sent a tremor through the ground. Jonathan turned, heart pounding, to find himself face to face with the clown. Its smile had widened, revealing teeth blackened by rot. In its eyes, Jonathan saw a reflection of despair, a promise of merciless fate. And as he stood paralyzed, the fog seemed to tighten around him like an unyielding vice, drawing him into the shadows from which there was no escape.